Good morning, students. I'm back again. So, this is our second session for Geography, Chapter 2, Globes, Latitudes and Longitudes, Part 2. Okay, I repeat again. This is our second session for Geography, Chapter 2, Globes, Latitudes and Longitudes, Part 2. Okay. Now here we will see about Part 1. Okay. We will have a revision about Part 1 and then we will move to the other contents of Part 2. The remaining contents we will continue in Part 2. Okay. So as usual, please note down everything what is being taught in this session. Okay. Now our before starting the chapter or part 2, let's have a look at the contents. Now the contents in this chapter are heat zones of the earth. For this part 2, we will look at heat zones of the earth. We will also have a look on what are longitudes. We will also have a look on longitude and time and why do we have standard time. Okay, we will have look on all these points. Now in part 1 we had seen about the globe. What is a globe? We had seen that globe is the true model of the earth. We had seen that globe is the true model of the earth. Okay. Globe varies in size and shapes. They are in different size and different shapes. Okay. They can be like a pocket globe. You can put it in the pocket. They can be like a balloon. Means it is a flattened balloon. Whenever you need it, you can blow it, use it, and again you can keep it in your, flatten it and keep it in your pocket. Okay. We had also seen that the globe has an axis. Okay. It is imagined that the earth also rotates on the axis and because of it day and night are being caused. Okay. We had also seen that on the globes, countries, continents and oceans are shown in their correct size. Okay. Now more we had seen about the parallel of latitudes, the important parallel of latitudes. We had seen about Tropic of Cancer, where it has been situated on how many degrees, Tropic of Capricorn, Arctic Circle, Antarctic Circle. Okay. We had also seen equator, which divides the earth into two equal halves, or you can say into two hemispheres, from which the upper hemisphere is called northern hemisphere and the bottom hemisphere is called southern hemisphere. Okay. Now these were some of the points which we had seen. Okay. We had also seen that the latitudes are being measured in degrees. Okay. Now moving to the heat zones. Let's see what these heat zones are. Now about the heat zones. Which are our heat zones? Our heat zones are torrid zone, temperate zone and frigid zone. Okay. These are our three zones. These are our three zones. From which torrid zone? We will have a talk about torrid zone first. Torrid zone lies between the Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn. Okay. In the last part 1, I had shown you the diagram of the parallels of important parallels of latitude. In that you had seen the Tropic of Capricorn and Tropic of Cancer. Okay, the torrid zone lies between the Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn. Receives maximum temperature. Okay, now this area receives maximum temperature, means more temperature, that's why it is known as torrid zone. Okay, that's why it is known as torrid zone. The midday sun is exactly overhead at least once a year on the latitudes between the Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn. And because the midday sun rays is overhead once a year and the torrid zone lies between Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn, that's why it receives a maximum temperature. Means you can say that torrid zone is the hot place. Okay, it's a hot zone. Okay, whichever country comes into torrid zone will receive more heat. Okay, so I repeat again that the midday sun is exactly overhead at least once a year on all latitudes in between Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn. So the area receives the maximum heat and it is called the torrid zone. Okay, now here I have shown you a diagram. You can have a look at the diagram. As you can see the torch light falling on the cardboard, okay, and you can see that the rays are falling straight. Okay, in the same ways the rays of the sun falls on the area between Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn, that is in the straight line, and that's why that area receives maximum temperature. Okay, now the temperate zone. The temperate zone, the midday sun never shines overhead on any latitude at the temperate zone. Means you can say the Tropic of Cancer, beyond Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn, means you can say that the rays of the sun fall slant. Okay, between Tropic of Capricorn and Tropic of Cancer the rays falls straight. Okay, so the temperate zone, the midday sun never shines overhead on any latitude. Overhead means you can say the direct rays, as we feel hot in the noon at 12 o'clock in the noon, from 12 o'clock to you can say 3 o'clock, too much of heat. Why? Because the rays of the sun is overhead or falls directly. Okay, as the sun rays starts falling slant, you feel that the temperature goes down. We don't feel so much of hot after that. The same happens with the temperate zone. Okay, the midday sun never shines overhead on any latitude beyond the Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn. The angle of the sun rays goes on decreasing towards the poles. Towards the poles means towards the North Pole and towards the South Pole. The sun rays fall slant and goes on decreasing. So, as such, the areas bounded by the Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Cancer and the Arctic Circle in the northern hemisphere and the Tropic of Cancer and Antarctic Circle in the southern hemisphere have moderate temperature. Moderate temperature means here the temperature is neither too high and nor too low, because the rays of the sun fall slant. Okay, and so this zone is called temperate zone. Okay, I hope you have understood about the torrid zone and temperate zone. Okay, now further let's have a look on the frigid zone. Now frigid, by the word you can understand frigid means cold. Okay, let's have a look. Now about frigid zone. The areas lying between the Arctic Circle and the North Pole in the northern hemisphere. Okay, now which are the frigid zones? The frigid zones are the area lying between the Arctic Circle and the North Pole in the northern hemisphere, and Antarctic Circle and Southern Pole in the southern hemisphere. Okay, these areas are very cold. Why? Because the sun does not rise much above the horizon. As I told you that frigid means cold. Okay, so the areas between Arctic Circle and North Pole in the northern hemisphere and Antarctic Circle and Southern Pole in the southern hemisphere are very cold. Why they are very cold? Because here the sun does not rise much above the horizon, and therefore the rays of the sun always falls slant and provides less heat. Okay, and provides less heat. That's why it is known as the frigid zone, or you can say very cold zone. It is very cold zone. So these are the three zones, three heat zones of the earth: torrid zone, temperate zone and frigid zone. Torrid zone means where the temperature it receives maximum heat. Torrid zone means it receives maximum heat. Temperate zone means the temperature there is very moderate. Okay, means neither too hot nor too cold. And frigid zone, it's very cold zone. Okay, which lies between the Arctic Circle and North Pole and Antarctic Circle and South Pole. So these are our hot zones. For understanding more, I have given you a diagram here. Right? The torch light falling on the slanted surface. Slanted surface means same as it falls on the poles. Okay? The rays of the sun as it same falls on the zone, also falls on the poles, the North Pole and the South Pole, isn't it the same as it is shown in the diagram? Your torch can be counted as the sun, and the cardboard, that is the board which is there, can be counted as the earth. Okay, as the rays of the torch light, as the torch light is falling slant on the board, same way the sunlight falls slant on the sun rays falls slant on the zones. So where the rays are slant, the temperature is very low, or you can say there the climate is very cold, because the slanted surface is less bright but covers the bigger area. Okay, and when the rays are straight, it covers a small area, and the surface is very more, so the surface is more bright, you can count as. Okay, below that I have shown you a picture of the heat zones. You can see, as we had talked about, the torrid zone. The torrid zone lies between the Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn. You can see torrid zone in the light green color. Okay, then comes the temperate zone, that is in the dark green color, and then the frigid zone, it is in the yellow color. Arctic Circle and Antarctic Circle. Arctic Circle in the North Pole and Antarctic Circle in the South Pole. Okay, so these are our heat zones. Okay, next, now let's talk about longitudes. Now what are longitudes? These longitudes help us to calculate the time, or you can say it helps us to know the time. Okay, to fix the position of a place, it is necessary to know something more than the latitude of that place. If you want to know a position of a place, the latitude, only the latitude won't help you in anything. For that, you have to know something more. Okay? Now, what is that? Now, to know about, like, if you want to know the position of a place, we can take one example. Now, you can say, like, Tunga Island, it is in the Pacific Ocean, and Mauritius Island, it is in the Indian Ocean. Now, these both of the places are situated on the same latitude. Same latitude means 20 degree south. Okay? Now, in order to locate them precisely, we must find out how far east or west these places are from the given lines of reference, that is from the latitude. Okay, so now these references of lines are called the meridian of longitude. Means latitude can only show you the position of a place, but to know the something more that is necessary, that what is the distance between that place. Position known. Both of the places which right now I told you about, the Tonga Island in the Pacific Ocean and Mauritius Island in the Indian Ocean. Both of the islands are situated on the 20 degree south. But what is the distance between it? To know the distance, you should know about the longitudes. So that is called the meridian of longitudes. Okay, that is called the meridian of longitudes. Okay, and when you want to know the distance between that place, it is measured in the degrees of longitude. It is measured in the degrees of longitude, and each degree is further divided into minutes and minutes into seconds. Okay, now this is how it is being calculated. So by this calculation, you can get the actual distance and difference of time between these places. Okay, now the distance between them decreases steadily polewards until it becomes zero at the poles where all the meridians meet. Means the meridian of longitude. I have shown you a picture here. You can see how are the longitudes. They go from pole to pole. Means it starts from the north pole and goes till the south pole. Okay, and when the distance decreases, now the distance starts decreasing when you start moving upwards. Moving upwards means the longitude starts decreasing and it meets at the poles. Okay, now the parallels of latitudes, as they had an equal distance, they were parallel. Okay, now all the meridians of longitudes are also of equal length. Okay, thus it was difficult to number the meridians. Okay, hence all countries decided that the count should begin from the meridian which passed through Greenwich. Okay, unlike parallel latitudes, all meridians are of equal length. They are of equal length, so it was very difficult to decide about the distance of a place. So, or you can say the difference in the timing. So, what was it decided? It was decided by all the countries that the count should begin from the meridian which passes through the Greenwich. Okay, now Greenwich is the place where British Royal Observatory is located. So it was being said that the longitude which passes through the Greenwich will be counted as the prime meridian. Okay, by which we can easily calculate the timing. Okay, now this is prime meridian, its value is 0 degree, same as equator. Equator is a 0 degree latitude and prime meridian is a 0 degree longitude. Okay, so it's said that the value of prime meridian is 0 degree longitude, and from it we count 180 degree eastwards as well as 180 degree westwards. The prime meridian and 180 degree meridian divide the earth into two equal halves. Now how? Equator divides the earth into two equal halves vertically. Okay? And prime meridian again divides the earth into two equal halves, that is horizontally. Okay? So I repeat again that the equator divides the earth horizontally and the prime meridian divides the earth vertically. When the equator divides the earth, it gives hemisphere, that is north hemisphere and northern hemisphere and southern hemisphere. And when the prime meridian divides the earth, it gives eastern hemisphere and western hemisphere. Okay, the prime meridian and 180 degree meridian divides the earth into two equal halves, that is the eastern hemisphere and the western hemisphere. Therefore, the longitude of the place is followed by the letter E and for the east and W for the west, as we had seen in the north and south. N stands for north and S stands for south. Same, when the prime meridian divides the earth vertically, it is been said that it is been followed, the longitude of the place is followed by letter E for the east and letter W for the west. Okay, so it is however interesting to note that 180 degree east and 180 degree west meridians are on the same line. Okay, the prime meridian is an imaginary line on the earth that passes from north to south through the Greenwich Observatory. Okay, now as I told you that it was decided by all the countries that we should count the count should begin from the meridian that passes from the Greenwich. So the meridian of longitude which passes from the Greenwich is known as prime meridian. Okay, and this prime meridian divides the earth into two equal halves vertically, that is eastern hemisphere and western hemisphere, and the longitude of these places are followed by the letter E for east and W for west. Okay, so knowing more about the longitudes, we can say that the lines of longitudes are known as the meridians. They are known as meridians. Okay, these lines run in the north and south direction. Okay, it measures the distance east or west of the prime meridian. Next, lines of longitude are farthest apart at the equator and meets at the pole. They start from north pole and end to the south pole. Okay, and they run from north to south direction. The latitudes run from west to east direction. Okay, they cross the equator at right angles. They cross the equator at right angles. Okay, lines of longitude lie in planes and pass through the earth's axis. The earth axis is in the middle of the earth. Okay, that passes from pole to pole, from the north pole to the south pole. The lines of longitudes are equal in length and they are half of great circles. Okay, so this is all about the lines of longitude. Okay, again here is a diagram which easily shows you everything. The equator, which cuts the earth into two halves, which divides the earth into two halves horizontally, okay, giving two hemispheres, northern hemisphere, southern hemisphere. You can also see one red line going through, that is dividing the earth again into two halves, giving again two hemispheres, that is the eastern hemisphere and the western hemisphere. And that line which cuts the earth or divides the earth into two halves vertically, that is known as the prime meridian. Okay, now these are the lines of longitude which goes from pole to pole, from north pole to south pole. Okay, now here, while the longitudes and latitudes pass from east to west and north to south, while forming this they make a grid. Now what is that grid? Now grid is known as the series of lines. What kind of series of lines? Have a look at the picture which I have given you. Maybe it may be possible for you to understand by looking at the pictures. Now look at the grid of the parallel of latitude and meridian of longitudes. The square which you are seeing on the screen, which has been seen on the screen, these squares are known as grids. Okay, now these parallels of latitude and meridians of longitudes can be seen on the globe or on the map. Okay, you can locate any point on the globe very easily if you know its latitude or longitude. Any place can be located very easily, but the main thing which you should know is the latitude and longitude of that place. Now for example, Dhubri in Assam is situated at 26 degree north latitude and 90 degree east longitude. Okay, now this is the one example. Now if I say you, by knowing this latitude and longitude about a place, now can it be easy for you to search it on the map if I tell you the proper latitude or longitude of that place? Yes, it can be very easy. Okay, the grid is a known series of lines, longitude and latitude, that precisely indicate where a specific spot is located on the earth. Now this is the help of the grid. Okay, this is the help of the grid. Now how can you locate a place? For that I have shown you two pictures. In the second picture on the right, you can see that it is showing you how the grids are being made. Okay, where are the poles, how does the latitude line goes from west to east, the longitudes go from north to south and form a grid. Now to know more easily how can you locate a place, in the left side I have shown you something. Okay, to understand this clearly, draw equidistant vertical and horizontal line on a paper. We have drawn it, right? Now label the vertical rows with numbers. Now the lines which are in the vertical form, name that in numbers, that 1 2 3 4 5, how many lines you have drawn. Okay, and the one which you have drawn horizontally means this way. Okay, these lines you should name it as alphabets, means A, B, C, D. Okay, now wherever this line intersect means wherever they joint. Okay, you have to draw small circles there at the points wherever they are meeting. Okay, wherever they form a plus, that plus you have to draw small circles on points. Okay, where those horizontal line and vertical line intersect each other. Okay, now wherever they intersect, you have to draw small circles and name them with small letters. Small letters means small ABCDs. Okay, now let represent vertical lines as east longitudes and horizontal lines as north latitudes. Now the lines which we have drawn vertically, we will count that line as east longitudes, okay, and the horizontal line, we will count that line as north latitudes. Okay, now you will see that the small circles which we had done, from that the first circle wherever we have drawn that first circle in the B. Okay, so you will see that the circle A is located on B, okay, B north latitude and 1E longitude. Okay, this is how you can locate a place on the map also, or on the globe also. Okay, this is only an example I have given you by drawing it on a flat paper, that how the grid forms and how can you locate a place very easily on the globe by knowing the proper latitude and longitude of that place. Okay, now this is, we have seen about locating a place. Now what about the timings? What about the time? Okay, longitude and time. The best means of measuring time is by the movement of the earth, moon and the planets. The sun regularly rises and sets every day, right? Naturally, it is the best timekeeper throughout the world. By the rising of the sun, we can say it is day. When the sun comes overhead, we can say it is noon. When sun sets, we can say it is evening and night. So nobody can be the best timekeeper other than the sun. Now, local time can be reckoned by the shadow cast by the sun, which is shortest at the noon and longest at sunrise and sunset. Yes, perfectly. The shadow which is casted by the sunlight. Okay, you can see that in the noon the shadow is very small. Okay, and in the morning and in the evening the shadows are very long. Okay, so by this we can locate the local timings. By the movement of the sun, we can locate or we can record the local timings. Okay, when the prime meridian of the Greenwich has the sun at the highest point in the sky. As while explaining the longitudes, I had told you that the prime meridian is the meridian which passes through the Greenwich, which helps to count the timings. Okay, now when the prime meridian of Greenwich has the sun at the highest point in the sky, all the places among these meridian will have midday or noon. As the earth rotates from west to east, those places east of Greenwich will be ahead of Greenwich time and those will be west will be behind it. Means here it's trying to say that we see the sun rising in the east and setting in the west. But in reality, the earth rotates from west to east. Okay? And due to this, the places which are in the east of the Greenwich will have the timings ahead from Greenwich, and which are at the west of the Greenwich will have the timings behind it. Okay? Means there will be the difference of timings also. Now you would say, ma'am, how would we calculate this time? If such a thing is there, how could it be possible? Okay. Now the rate of difference can be calculated as follows. How? The earth rotates 360 degrees in about 24 hours. Note this, that the earth rotates about 360 degrees, rotates 360 degree in about 24 hours, which means 15 degree an hour, means the earth rotates 15 degree per hour. Okay, or you can say 1 degree in 4 minutes. I repeat again, the earth rotates 360 degree in about 24 hours. So if we divide 360 by 4, 360 with 24, we get it, we will get the degree per hour. Means if the earth is rotating 360 degree in 24 hours, means per hour the earth is rotating 15 degree. Okay, more if we evaluate or calculate, we can say that the earth rotates 1 degree in 4 minutes. So thus, when it is 12 noon at Greenwich, the time at 15 degree east of Greenwich will be 15 into 4, that is 60 minutes, or you can say 1 hour ahead of Greenwich time. Means it will be 1 hour ahead from Greenwich, which means that if it is 12 noon in Greenwich, then in the east of the Greenwich it would be 1 p.m. means 1 hour ahead. Now same if we can count in the west of the Greenwich. If the 15 degree west of Greenwich, then the timing will be behind it. Behind means if it is 12 noon in Greenwich, then in the west of the Greenwich it will be 11 a.m. Similarly, the 180 degree will be midnight when it is 12 noon at Greenwich. So this is how you can evaluate the time, for which you have to know the actual rotation of the earth in 24 hours. Then how many degrees does the earth rotate in 24 hours? Then you have to divide that with 24, then more divided. This way you can get the difference of timing of each places. Okay. Now further, let's have a look at a map that is called the time zones around the world, by which we can understand what are the timings in east of the Greenwich or west of the Greenwich, which places come there. Let's have a look. This is the time zone of the world map. You can see here. Okay, this is the place where all the places are being located. Okay, where you can see the Greenwich passing through the, where you can see the Greenwich very clearly. Okay, this with the places which are in the east of the Greenwich will be having the time before, means it will go 1 hour before, and the places which are in the west of the Greenwich will have 1 hour behind. Behind means 1 hour later. Okay, so this is the time zone world around the world, which depends on the Greenwich. Okay, and this is how the time is being calculated. Now why do we have the standard time? What is the standard time? The local time of places which are on different meridians are bound to differ. For example, it will be difficult to prepare a timetable for train which cross several longitudes. Okay, now in India, for instance, there will be a difference of about 1 hour and 45 minutes in the local timings of Dwarka in Gujarat and Dibrugarh in Assam. Means it can be easily said that a timetable of train, that the train has a timetable, which train is going to arrive at what time. Sometimes it is very difficult to tell you the proper time. Okay, why? The local timings of the places which are on the different meridians, because they are situated on the different meridians, and so the timings are different. As you can see in India only, the Dwarka in Gujarat and Dibrugarh in Assam, they have the time difference of 1 hour and 45 minutes. Okay, it is therefore necessary to adopt the local time of some central meridian of a country as a standard time for the country. In India, the longitude of 82.5 degree east is treated as the standard meridian. The local time of this meridian is taken as the standard time for the whole country, and so it is known as Indian Standard Time, or you can say IST. Okay, so that is why we have a standard time. Why do we have a standard time? We have a standard time so that the local time at this meridian can be counted for the whole country. Okay, so therefore it is necessary to adopt the local time for some central meridian of the country as the standard time of the country. Okay, so by this we come to an end of part 2, in which we have seen, in the whole chapter we have seen about the globe, about the parallels of latitudes, meridians of longitudes. We have also seen how can we know the distance of a place, how can we know the time of a place, okay, the difference of timings in a place. We have seen how the equator divides the earth into, you can say divides the globe into two equal halves horizontally. We have also seen the prime meridian dividing the earth into two equal halves vertically. Okay, we have seen the heat zones, torrid zone, frigid zone and temperate zone. Torrid zone is the hottest zone. Okay, temperate zone where the temperature is always moderate, and frigid zone where the temperature is very low, or you can say frigid zone is counted as the coldest zone. Okay, now let's move to the vocabulary. While learning the chapter, we have gone through some hard words. Okay, we will have a quick look on the vocabulary and then on the exercise. Now to the vocabulary. Our first word is torrid. Torrid. Torrid, very hot and dry. While explaining you the zones, I had told you torrid means where the temperature is maximum. Maximum means very high. It means the places, or you can say the countries, which come in torrid zone are very hot and dry. Okay, so torrid means very hot and dry. Next, temperate. Temperate means relating to or donating a region or climate characterized by mild temperature, where the temperature is mild. Mild means it is not too hot, also not too hot, not too cold. Okay, so temperate means relating to or donating a region or climate characterized by mild temperatures. Written. Next, frigid. Frigid, very cold. Frigid comes in frigid, the countries which come under frigid zone will be the cold countries where the temperature is always low. Okay, so frigid means very cold in temperature. Next, horizon. Horizon. What is horizon? Horizon is a line at which the earth's surface and the sky appear to meet. where you see that the earth and the sky are meeting each other. Okay, such line is known as horizon. A line at which the earth's surface and the sky appear to meet. Next, instance. Instance means an example or single occurrence of something. Instance means an example or single occurrence of something. Next, adapt. Adopt, ADOPT. Adopt. Adopt means choose to take up, follow or use. Adopt means choose to take up, follow or use. Okay, these are the vocabularies for today. I repeat all the words again. Torrid, temperate, frigid, horizon, instance, adopt. Note down everything. Then we will move to the exercise. Now to the exercise. Our first question. What are the 3 heat zones of the earth? 3 heat zones of the earth. By now you must be knowing the name. What are the 3 heat zones of the earth? They are torrid zone, temperate zone and frigid zone. Written? I repeat. Torrid zone, temperate zone and frigid zone. Next, which zone receives the maximum heat and why? Which zone receives the maximum heat and why? Which zone receives the maximum heat? While explaining you the zones, I had told you which zone receives the maximum heat. It is the temperate zone. Why? Because the sun is overhead, okay, and it receives maximum temperature. Okay, so torrid zone. It is the torrid zone which receives the maximum heat. And why does it receive maximum heat? Because the sun is overhead and receives maximum temperature. Okay, which zone lies between the tropics and the circle? Which zone, heat zone you can say, which heat zone lies between the tropics and the circles? It is the temperate zone. The temperate zone lies between the tropics and the circles. Okay. Now the dash zone lies between the circles and the poles. The poles are the coldest. The poles are the coldest. So now here by the word coldest only you should have understood that which zone lies between the circles and the poles. It is the frigid zone. So the answer is frigid. I read the sentence. The frigid zone lies between the circles and the poles. Okay. Next, from which longitude do all countries begin their count of meridian? From which longitude? All the countries decided to begin their time, count their time. It is the prime meridian. Okay, the prime meridian is the longitude from where all the countries begin their count of meridian. Prime meridian. Next, which 2 lines divide the earth into eastern hemisphere and western hemisphere? Which were these 2 lines? One line I had told you, it is the prime meridian. And which is the second line? The second line is the 180 degree meridian. Okay, so how is the answer? the prime meridian and the 180-degree meridian divide the earth into the eastern hemisphere and western hemisphere, that is vertically. Okay, next, the earth rotates from dash to dash. The earth rotates from dash to dash, that is from west to east. Okay, next is, what is the full form of IST? What is the full form of IST? Indian Standard Time. Full form of IST, Indian Standard Time. Okay, next, dash has 11 time zones. Which place has 11 time zones? It is Russia. Russia has 11 time zones. Okay, so these are all the question answers, vocabularies, what are being needed for the chapter. We have completed the chapter with it. For the next session, we'll soon meet with any one subject again. Till then, please learn whatever has been given to you. Okay, learn by heart, take care of your health, and goodbye.